Hello everyone, I am Dr. Fahim Mushtaq. Today we are going to discuss the OSI model layers. In our previous lecture, we briefly explained the OSI model with the help of example. Now we again discuss the OSI model in detailed view of each layers. Okay. The first question, as I previously asked, we need to know that why we need OSI model is that how data can be transferred from one system to another system. This OSI model will allow the with different protocols to transfer the data from one system to another system. So in this lecture, we will discuss the 7 different layers of OSI model. Firstly, we discuss the application layer, then presentation layer, then session layer, then transport layer, then network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. So let's move to the application layer. In application layer, as previous example, we have any document and we need to transfer the document to the receiver end. So in the application layer, we have a different application that are used in this layer by using the different protocols such as like HTTP, SMTP and FTP, Telnet, SNMP, SSH. All these protocols are used in this layer for the communication between the two processes or two programs running at the layer. To communicate, process send a request to the other process and receive a response. Process to process communication is the duty of application layer. The application layer in the internet include many predefined protocols, but a user can also create a pair of processes to be run at the two hosts. Here is the example. You see that these are the different applications that use in the application layer. These applications can used by the computer system and can access through the different protocols that include the HTTP, HTTPS, FTP. For example, there is a number of protocols. For the purpose of file serving or file transfer, we use the file transfer protocol, that is FTP, and for the purpose of web serving we are use the hypertext transfer protocol secure, and for the purpose of emails we use the SMTP protocol, and for the purpose of virtual terminal we use the Telnet. Note that the application layer is responsible for providing service to the user. The information that appear in the application layer forwarded to the session layer and add header of the presentation layer. In presentation layer, the information that received from the application layer is in the form of different ASCII character. Different character may be in alphabet or alphanumeric character. Okay, so this layer can translate these ASCII code into EBCDIC code. Okay, so translation of the code into the binary number. So with this translation can further we need to compress in order to send the information in fast way. So for that purpose we apply the data compression function in the bits that receive that translate the data from that received from the application layer. With this compression function, after we have we need to know that the information need a security when we transfer from one position to another position. In previous slide you also see that we are adding the header in this layer. So The compressed data is also can be encoded, covered in the encryption or decryption using the algorithm, using the encryption decryption algorithm. So the data will convert it into different form that need to transfer to the next layer. For the purpose of encryption layer, we use the secure socket layer, that is SSL. Note that the presentation layer is responsible for translation, compression, and encryption. These are three major functions that are used by the presentation layer, as we discussed in previous slide. If we compare with our previous lecture, you see that in this layer we just convert the document that are in the Italian form and convert to the British English form. Okay, so Italian to English conversion in the presentation layer. So next presentation layer is the session layer. Session layer is like if we arrange a party. For example, if we arrange a party, what we do the party, we will hire a people who can arrange the event, manage the event, clean the event, and after the management of the event, the function of these people are hired people are that once the function is completed, they are responsible to rearrange the things again, or again clean, again close the session, all the purpose. So the session layer also doing the same job for the session management. Here you can see that the first thing is that the authentication. Authentication is that when you use username and password in your laptop, then it send request to the server for the verification. So once the username and password is matched, once the username and password is matched, your request is authenticated. Okay, so authorization is the process is that once you have authenticated by you are the authorized user, then you are try to access some file, maybe with your account some information are not accessible. So the process of authorization is apply on that place where you need to access the required files. Third is that when you write down in the browser facebook.com, then you know that the Facebook contain the information in the form of text or images. So all these files are separately saved in the server. Once you send the request, they send you back send this information in the form of data packets, and both packets individually receive this information and integrate and show in front of you by using the web browsers. So the application, presentation, and session layer all are software layer, and we access this information in the web browser. These are the three key role of session layer. So the session layer is responsible for dialog control and synchronization. In previous slide, we see that with authentication, authorization, and session management, we have able to control. We are able to manage the dialogue and between the sender party and the receiver party. Next is the session transport layer. Once the session is managed between sender or receiver, we forward that information or message to the transport layer. The purpose of the transport layer is to divide that information into different segments. Here you have seen that there is a different segments, and each segment have their own header that that contains the sequence that contains the source or destination port number or sequence number. So the source, and later we discuss in next slide the purpose of source or destination port number and the sequence number. The main purpose of this transport layer contains the segmentation, flow control, and the error control. Firstly, as we discussed earlier, that it divide the data into different segments, and each segment contains the source or destination port number and the sequence number. The source and destination port number direct each to sequence to the correct application, and while on the other hand the sequence number direct to arrange sequence number into correct order. Okay, next is the flow control. In flow control, we will see that the data can be transferred from one system to the other mobile application, and the mobile application can process that information. Maybe we have sent request for some information, and we need to know that the capability of both system can how much data they are able to process. In this case, we have seen that the mobile application, with this example, mobile can access the information with 10 megabytes, while on the other hand system we have seen that it can process the information in the 100 bytes of data. Maybe in some other example, if we discuss that maybe the system can send data more than 10 megabytes, then in that case the mobile application can request to the computer or another system to send the less information. For this management between the two devices, processing information of the two devices, that can be managed by the transport layer. Third is the error control. In error control, where it need to it happened when we have transferred the data from one device to another device, and the receiver end, maybe the any packets, maybe the any segment of the file can be corrupted. So for that purpose, the automated repeated request can be generated, and request to the sender then again need to send that segment, and after that to recover these segments. In transport layer, the protocol used are the user datagram protocol, and other one is the transmission control protocol. User datagram protocol is connectionless protocol that transmit user datagram without first creating a logical connection. UDP, each user datagram is an independent entity without being related to the previous or next one. The meaning of the term connectionless UDP is simple protocol that does not provide flow, error, or congestion control. So here with the example, we see that audio, video, gaming application, we have no worry about the complete data received, and we don't need the feedback. So on the other hand, if you see that the transmission control protocol or TCP protocol is connection oriented protocol that first establishing logical connection between the transport layer or two hosts before transferring data. It creates a logical pipe between two TCP and transferring a stream of byte. TCP provides flow control, matching the sending data rate of the source host with the receiving data rate of the destination host to prevent overwhelming the destination. Also, TCP also provide the facility for the error control, which gives the guarantee that segment arrive at the destination without error and resending the corrupted one. as we seen in the previous slide. And third facility given the congestion control to reduce the loss of segment due to congestion in the network. So TCP uses the FTP protocol, and the application where we need a proper feedback, and we need to guarantee the complete transmission of data. So in this way we use the TCP protocols. The transport layer is responsible for the delivery of message from one process to another process. Here is also example the reliable process to process delivery of a message. Here you can see that there is a different segments. Process to process delivery can be ensured by transport layer, while in next slide we will discuss the network layer, which ensure that the host to host delivery of the information. Okay. Here is the network layer. Network layer receives the data packets from transport layer and convert these packet into uh, uh, internet protocol layer. Okay. So in this layer also we add the header. The purpose of the header to mention the source or destination IP address with this packet. Here you can see that both side, this one is, we can say, sender side, and the other one is the receiver side. Okay. So in first figure you see that we receive information from transport layer to the network layer, and network layer forward this information to the data link layer. On the other hand, we see that the receiver end, where we see the network layer receive information from data link layer and forward it to the transport layer. The major responsibility of the network layer is the logical addressing. Logical addressing can be done using the IPv4 and IPv6 version of addresses, and which uses the subnet mask. The routing can be done with using these IP addresses and their subnet masks. The data can be transferred from one device to other device with mentioned address, and the mentioned network and host address. Based on this network host address, the receiver network can receive these packets and send to the receiver party. The third purpose of the network layer is the path determination. There are different paths between the sender and receiver. This layer can ensure that with using the different protocols, ensure that where to send data fast, also complete ensure to send the data. So first protocol that used in this layer is OSPF, Open Shortest Path First. The second protocol that used is the Border Gateway Protocol, that referred to as BGP. Okay. Third one is IS, which is Intermediate System Protocol. Note that the network layer is responsible for the delivery of individual packet from source host to the destination host. Here is the example for the source to destination delivery of the information. In network layer we use the routers. So all these routers are used in the network layer. Here is the example of three layers. For example, the network layer, where actually the router is existing. The second layer is data link layer, where we use the switches, and this is the physical layer where the bits can be transferred to the one router to the another router. So it ensured the delivery of hoop to hoop delivery, and between the different device to the different devices. The next layer is the data link layer. So data link layer is receive the network packets from the network layer and add the header and tail to these packets, data packets, which is called the frame, and that convert into the frame. Okay, and forward these frames to the next layer, which is physical layer. While on the other hand, we see that the physical layer can forward in the receiver and forward the information to the data link layer, and data link layer open this frame and forward to the network layer. The main purpose of the data link layer is the physical addressing. While in previous slides we have seen that the logical addressing can be done in the network layer, while on the other hand physical addressing can be done in the data link layer. We use the two NIC card of two different devices, and this is the MAC address for these two NIC devices, and based on this physical address we have ensured that the transmission of the data. So these packets contain the a data packet is actually the combination of segment and the source and destination IP addresses. In this layer we also add that the MAC address of source and destination device. Note that the data link layer is responsible for moving frame from one hoop to the another hoop. Here is the example of hoop to hoop delivery. Is you can see that the transmission in each layer between the different devices. Next one is the physical layer. The physical layer is responsible for carrying individual bits in a frame across the link. Although the physical layer is lower level in the TCP/IP protocol or ISO model, so in next lecture we will differentiate the TCP/IP and the OSI model and this between these layers of the model. So in this layer it receives the frames from the data link layer and converts into the bits. These bits can be transferred to the receiver and using the transmission media, and these bits can forwarded to in the form of frame to the data link layer. Here is the example. In the transport layer we use the data segments. In network layer we use the packets, and we add the source and destination IP address to that segments, and the data link layer we add the source and destination MAC address to the packets, and in tail contain also the IPs, different IP address that use for the error detection purpose. Okay, so in this layer, this one is the physical layer where the information in the form of bits it can be transferred using the using in the form of light signal when we use the LAN cable. If it can be in the form of light signal, then it use the fiber optic cable. Third is that it will be in the form of radio signal if in the air. Okay, so all this medium can use as the transmission media and forward the signals from the physical source physical layer to the destination physical layer. Note that the physical layer is responsible for movement of individual bits from one hoop or node to the next node. Here is the summary of the today lecture of OSI model layer. Firstly, we will discuss that the application layer which allow to access the network resources. Second is the presentation layer where we have to translate, encrypt and compress the data. And third is the session layer Session layer is responsible to establish, maintain, and terminate the session, where the transport layer, we see that it provide the reliable process-to-process message delivery and error recovery. And the fifth layer is network layer, which used to move packet from source to destination and provide the internetworking. Data link layer is used to organize the bits into frames to provide the hoop to hoop delivery. The last is the physical layer we discuss, which use to transmit bit over a medium, uh, and also it's used to provide the mechanical and electrical specification. This is the summary for the today lecture. I hope that you people have understand the detailed OSI model, structure of OSI models. In our, if you need more example, you can watch our previous lecture on with examples of OSI model, where you find that the purpose of the OSI model. Thank you so much guys for watching this video, and I hope that you all of them enjoy and got knowledge, and keep watching the videos, and in next lecture we will see that the TCP IP model. Thank you.